love to cook. You are so good in the kitchen. You are always making healthy, delicious food.
And this is called floating your lettuce. And again, there's no oil. This is just a great salad. Sit outside on the deck and just relax on a summer night. Just mix that a little bit. I always use my hands. The best tool nature gave me. Okay, now we're gonna do wet hand, dry hand. This is my wet hand, this is my dry hand. A chicken Caesar.
Margot wears many hats as a restaurant owner and chef.
I'm lucky when I get a chance to cook because I'm waiting tables, I am fixing things, I'm running around. So what do we think? Are these a hit? Basically, I think we got a good one. Mm-hmm. Yep. You?
Definitely.
Okay.
Margot has also been a friend of mine for over 25 years. I catered her wedding, and it was beautiful.
Long time ago. Beautiful wedding, beautiful honeymoon. Let's go on.
Okay.
The combination of chewy and sweet makes these jam macaroons really, really delicious. And they're easy to make. They're a great cookie to make with kids. I'm going to start in a food processor. And I've got slivered blanched almonds, about 3 cups. To that, I have 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'll mix all my dry ingredients together. I love when I can make cookies in a food processor like this. It's so easy. Got so many safety features here. I got it. Okay, buckled, ready to go. I can hear it. You can even hear how it's smoother and it's less being broken up now. Okay, see that texture? That's what you want. Nice, fine texture, ground up like that. Okay, now I have 2 eggs. I'm going to separate them. I only need the whites for this recipe. So I do it one at a time. That way, if an egg yolk breaks, I don't get any into my white. They're a little bit easier to separate cold, by the way. When they get warm, they don't quite separate as easily. Number 2, a little vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon. That's it. That's a really simple cookie. Now we're going to process this till it turns into a ball. So let's go. Not yet. Okay, you see how it stops all going around and kind of stays in one place? That's what we call rolling up into a ball. So it's just kind of one big mass like that. Now on a cookie sheet, make little 1-inch balls and just do a couple here to finish this cookie sheet off. Okay, now you see I've done all of one step at one time, and then you go to the next step. And in this case, we're going to flatten them. So I'm going to put a little water on the heel of my hand and flatten them just like so. And since I've got that water, they don't stick. So these don't really spread or rise or anything. Remember, there's no leavening in them. So it's important to flatten them, because we have to make a nice indentation to put the jam in later. Now, I also learned a little trick. Take your 1/4 teaspoon measurement and just make a little indentation with that. And that way you'll have a nice, deep enough well to put your jam into, and they'll be uniform in size. Just like that. These go into a 350-degree oven. Make sure to preheat your oven first before you even start. They'll bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I always rotate my pans halfway through. I don't care what kind of oven you have. It's hard to get even browning all the way, so it's always good to rotate. So I'll put them in the oven now, and then we'll bake them till they're slightly golden on the bottom and the edges and a little bit crackly on the top of the surface. This jam has been melting for about 5 minutes over a low heat. Apricot jam, you could use any kind really. Now, the cookies are ready. Let me show you. They're nice and brown and golden on the bottom and a little bit around the edges. And they're a crispy, chewy kind of texture. So fill those indentations. Just fill them with a nice little blob of jam like that. You know, a great tool for this, if you have baby spoons, especially like the little rubber tipped ones, and even if your babies are older, like mine are, keep those things. They are perfect for this kind of job, because this is a little bit big, but it works. So you want to give a nice little helping of jam, and then in a few minutes, the jam will set up. An almond macaroon with jam in the center. It's crunchy, it's chewy, and it's easy to make with your kids. I love them. Have you tried pumpkin seeds? They're delicious to snack on and very healthy to eat. Packed with a powerful punch of protein, they're instant energy boosters. We're featuring them in a creamy pumpkin seed sauce that tops our tender grilled chicken. The delicious pumpkin seed sauce for this recipe is inspired by the Mexican classic mole sauce. At Everyday Food, we've changed the recipe a little bit to use ingredients that are more readily available at the supermarket. I'm going to start with 1 onion. I'm only going to use half of it because we need a 1/4 cup. Run your knife through it again to make sure you get everything cut up. And let's get that olive oil in there. Roughly a tablespoon. And it helps just, if you have a wide knife like this, to just scrape all your onion up like that. Put in, nice sizzle. Okay, we want that to just soften up a little bit. Next thing is 1 clove of garlic. And a nice piece of garlic. And sometimes it helps to get that skin off. Just give it a little whack with your hand. And also it'll help the oils start coming out for all that nice garlic flavor. And just give that a little quick mince. Okay, let's throw that right into the pan with the onions. And next thing is a jalapeno pepper. And sometimes you might want to be careful with the seeds. You don't need the seeds for this recipe. Sometimes you do. If a couple get in, no big deal. And I'm going to do a little, I want them fairly small for this, so I'll go in strips and then across again. Just like that. This is 1 whole jalapeno. This is going to be fairly spicy, so if you don't like your food too spicy, you could always use a half. And these are kind of green in color, a little bit different from your Halloween pumpkin seeds. They've already been hulled, they're out of their shell, and they need to get toasted in the pan. So just put those in there. This is a 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. Next thing that's kind of interesting and different is romaine lettuce, which I've already rinsed off, and I'm going to take that little root out there and just cut across into strips. This head of lettuce that I'm chopping is roughly the equivalent of 1½ cups. Okay, that's it. Don't want that root. And I'll add 1½ teaspoons of salt. Now we need a little bit of liquid and an acidic flavor, so I have white wine vinegar. I need a tablespoon. And also we need 1 cup of water. Saving a little bit of this water because I may need to loosen up my sauce after it cools off and goes in the blender. It may be too thick, so we'll need a little bit of water for that. So we'll let that cook, and while that's going on, we'll get the chicken ready. I've got chicken breasts that need a tablespoon of olive oil. Chicken breasts are just a great blank canvas for any kind of sauce. You could use pork cutlets if you wanted to. I think that would work very nicely with this recipe as well. Now I'll season both sides. And after that, we'll go right into the grill pan. Just lay them down at a slight diagonal. And we'll let these cook a little bit till they get kind of brown, cooked through on both sides. We'll turn them halfway through. And that'll be about 6 to 8 minutes on both sides. First, I'll puree the lettuce mixture. And now I'll add cilantro. It's about a 1/4 cup of cilantro, and you don't want to put the cilantro in when you cook it. You really want to put it in at the end because the flavor is much better. And then, if I need to, I'll add some more water, that other 1/2 cup if we need to just loosen it up a little bit. You'll be amazed at how creamy the pumpkin sauce is. You could also try this on grilled salmon or grilled vegetables. It is delicious.